Your local police are there, sworn to protect and serve the citizens of their respective cities. But what do you do when one of those officers goes way beyond just breaking the law and does something so despicable and so disgusting that it leaves angry thoughts in your head for days? Well, you're about to find out as we dive into the story of a now former New Orleans cop. Welcome to Crime Science. A now former police officer with the New Orleans Police Department was charged for sexually assaulting a 15-year-old girl, contrary to her constitutional rights. Court documents show that Rodney Vicnair, 55, was working in his duty as a sworn police officer, escorting a then 14-year-old sexual assault victim to the hospital so she could have a forensic exam performed, otherwise known as a rape kit. Vicnair gave this young lady his cell phone number and offered to help her through this as a friend and a mentor, which in itself seems like a kind and thoughtful, innocent enough gesture. As the weeks and months passed, Vicnair and the young lady often spoke on the phone and exchanged messages on the online platform Snapchat. Vicnair would oftentimes show up to meet the young lady unannounced at her home. However, over time, his conversations with this young girl, whom, if I may remind everyone, is a minor, started to take on a more inappropriate tone with comments of a sexual nature. One night in September, the 23rd to be exact, Vicnair once again showed up at this young girl's house. Now, by this time she had turned 15, but as we all know, she is still a minor. He told the young lady to come out to his car and hop in. Vicnair remained in the driver's seat. Now, this cop, who is in a position of authority and respected by most people as a sworn officer of the law, with a duty to uphold and protect the law and serve and protect them, locks the car door, and the young girl can no longer get out of the car under her own free will. Vicnair then leaned over her, and now this young lady is in complete fear for her own safety. Vicnair then proceeds to sexually assault her by intentionally touching her over her clothing without her consent. Now what the hell? This is an NOPD cop, sworn to uphold the law, and now here he is with a young girl he escorted to the hospital to have a rape kit done, and is completely traumatized already, and now he's been grooming her over time and having inappropriate conversations and touching her? Anyhow, before I digress too far down a rabbit hole, Vicnair subsequently was arrested after she, quite bravely I might add, reported him to the same police force he worked for, although she did have her doubts that they would believe her. Thankfully, they did believe her, and they took her completely seriously. The FBI and the NOPD Public Integrity Section investigated the case. He was subsequently arrested, and when it came down to trial, Vicnair pled guilty and admitted that he acted with no legitimate law enforcement purpose and that he absolutely knew and understood that his actions were completely inappropriate, wrong, and fully against the law, yet he still, fully knowing, acted in such a way anyway. Assistant Attorney General Kristen Clark stated, "We are grateful for this young survivor for coming forward, even though that she thought that no one would believe her. Had she not been willing to do so, we would not have been able to hold the defendant accountable for his heinous crime. This case should send a strong message to law enforcement everywhere who sexually abuse victims, particularly children, that they are not above the law and they will be held accountable." U.S. Attorney Dwayne Evans for the Eastern District of Louisiana further stated, "The public must be able to trust that law enforcement will faithfully execute their sworn duties or face the consequences for failing to do so. Our office, along with the Department of Justice, the FBI, and state and local law enforcement agencies, will continue to investigate and prosecute any violations of constitutional rights. The FBI is dedicated to doing the work to restore public faith in law enforcement when individuals attempt to use the badge to hide their illegal behavior, said Special Agent in Charge Douglas A. Williams, Jr. of the New Orleans Field Office of the FBI. He continued, "We also thank the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Louisiana, the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division, and the New Orleans Police Department Public Integrity Unit for their efforts in this case." The court accepted Vicnier's plea of guilty and sentenced him to 14 years in federal prison. What are your thoughts? Was Vicnier's sentence harsh enough? Or should the courts have been more lenient because of his seeming remorse and quick admission to wrongdoing? Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section. We'd love to hear from you. That wraps up today's episode here on Crime Science. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button and turn your notifications on so you'll know right when we post a new video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.